Every story with a character arc follows a specific path of change, and when you know it, as an author, you can write stories that resonate with your readers. It's also easier for you to write because you have milestones to mark your way. I'm Jule Kucera, creator and founder of StoryJoules, and I help writers craft powerful stories. In this video, we'll analyze Jojo Moyes' Me Before You using the StoryJoules model. If you don't already have a copy of the handbook, you can get it linked below. It will help you craft your story. We'll start with the empty pizza pan, with each slice equaling a segment, starting at the 12 o'clock position. That is the status quo. That's where we start the story in the protagonist's current life, before the big change happens. In Me Before You, Louisa Clark lives with her family. She works in a cafe as a server. She lives with her mom, her dad, her sister's son, and not in the picture, her grandfather. And they are dependent on her for her income to help support the family. Then we have the whiff, inciting incident. And in Me Before You, it's when Louisa loses her job. And this is bad news because, as I said, her family needs her income. So she has to figure out, what am I going to do? She goes to the local employment office. They tell her the only thing she's qualified for, she doesn't know how to use a computer, is a caregiver role, which she does not want. She doesn't want to wipe people's bums, but they assure her, you will not have to wipe people's bums. She goes on the interview, and you can see the status differential here between Louisa and Mr. Trainer Sr. And she decides, you know what? I got to take this because her father's about to lose his job, and so they're going to lose that income. So it becomes necessary. So she takes the job with the trainers. This is important because in the external dimension of order and chaos, this is where the protagonist moves from a world of order, a world that makes sense to them, a world that they know. Even if it's not orderly to us, it's orderly to them. And they move into a world of chaos. It is different from what they know. It is essentially upside down. It is an upside down world. You could also think about it as a photo negative. With Louisa, she goes from being in very cramped quarters to being in this extremely spacious environment. And if you look at the lighting, it's a cool lighting, where every time we see a photo of her home, it's warmly lit. There is Will Trainer. He is the person she's going to be caring for, and he pulls a prank on her, and she doesn't know what to think, and he is not particularly nice to her. But it's a job, and it pays very well. So it starts, and it's going pretty well, and it goes so well that he even lets her shave him. But then we have the whoa, shake up a belief. And in this case, that's when Louisa overhears Mr. and Mrs. Trainer arguing over Will's plan to end his life at Dignitas in Switzerland. Will, ever since his accident, obviously can't live the way he's lived, but he's also in constant pain, and he has bartered with them 6 months. But in 6 months, he wants to leave, and that is a ticking clock. So what does Louisa do? She clings to her old mindset, and she says, okay, I'm going to figure out how to make him want to stick around here because she wants this job. If he goes, she loses her income. And she does research and tries to figure out all the things that he would like to do. And then we have the mindset-shattering midpoint. Up to this point, Louisa believes Will tolerates her, if not actively dislikes her, but it's her birthday party. And at her birthday party, Will gives her a gift that proves not only does he not dislike her, he's been paying attention to what she says, and he cares enough about her to have custom-made stripy leggings, the kind like she had when she was a kid that she loved. And they're, beautiful box, wonderfully wrapped. And she realizes this man does care about me, compared to her boyfriend, who gave her a kind of a necklace in a style she would never wear. And not only that, but in the book it's some little star or something, and in the movie it has his name, Patrick, on it. A horrible gift. This moment is important because this is where the protagonist learns something, shatters their way of thinking, and it also brings them into a new stage internally, and it's the stage where they begin to change. They will leave their world of stasis and they will begin to change. Next up, plan A, change you. In Me Before You, Louisa and Will are going on adventures, and Louisa is using his interest in her to do things that she thinks he would like her to do. But she's not doing them because she wants to do them. She's doing them because she wants him to stick around. She's still trying to control the world around her and manage other people without managing and leading her own life. And Will tells her, you need to widen your horizons, Clark. You only get one life. It's actually your duty to live it as fully as possible. And then we have the wham, all is lost. In Me Before You, that's when Louisa confesses her love for Will, and he tells her it's not enough. It is not enough to change his plan. He still wants to go. And she is heartbroken. He probably is too. I mean, it must be a very difficult situation for both of them. Then Louisa enters her dark night of the soul. This is the one place in the story where the protagonist is allowed to retreat, to lick their wounds. Louisa goes back to her family home, hangs out in her bedroom for 3 days, and her father comes and gives her a pep talk, and she decides, you know what? I need to change. And she returns to the problem that has dogged her from the beginning, which is trying to control other people, lead their lives for them, make everything fine around her. And instead, she's going to demonstrate her love for Will by supporting him in his plan. This is critical because this is where the protagonist at this point of the story brings order into this chaotic world. They are now not just taking action and becoming more proactive, but they're bringing order into the world. And for the first time in the movie, we see Louisa being transported where she's not on a bus and we're not looking at her, but we're seeing through her eyes. She's the one actively leading her life. She's the one looking out the window. Now we have plan B, change me. And what Louisa does is the one thing she doesn't want to do, which is go to Switzerland to be with Will. And she doesn't just show up and say hi. She, in a dig down deeper moment, actually gets into his bed with him to comfort him, to be with him, to laugh with him. Also, notice the butterflies on her shirt. Butterflies represent Louisa. Lastly, we have the new world. This experience that the protagonist has gone through allows them to bring about a change not just in themselves, but in the world around them. For Will, he starts the movie in bed with his girlfriend, and he ends the movie leaving the earth in bed with the woman he loves and who loves him. For Louisa, she starts the movie locked out of the stores and living a very small life. And at the end, she is in her stripy leggings in Paris. The store is open to her. She has purchased something, and note the butterfly on the window. That's it for the StoryJoules analysis of Me Before You. The story follows a form, but it doesn't feel formulaic, and that's because Jojo Moyes understood, well, she knows what she's doing, but she also understood the story dynamics of the external pressures that press on the protagonist and the internal change that's demanded of the protagonist. So for Me Before You, what is the internal change that's demanded? For Louisa, it's her view of herself, her self-worth. She has viewed her life as, in a very small way, ever since an incident that she thought she caused, she did not cause, but anyway, she has not been living her life. And she ends the movie realizing that she deserves a life she loves. So her internal change is one of validation, seeing her own worth. Where does she feel the external pressure? It's through the love external dynamic. All of the pressure comes from her relationships. Yes, with Will, but also with her sister, her family, the trainers. The relationships that she's in, primarily with Will, are the ones that cause her to change. If we think about it quarter by quarter, in the first quarter of the story, it's external order and internal stasis. The second quarter is external chaos and internal stasis. The third quarter is external chaos, the worst chaos that's ever been, and now the beginning of internal change. And then the fourth quarter is external order and internal change. Those are the four quadrants, and you can also look at it segment by segment to see what's happening externally and internally in each segment. You can screenshot this. It's also in the StoryJoules handbook, and that is linked below. Thank you for being here. See you next time. Tally ho.